Hello and welcome back to yet another argument lecture. This one is about Rogerian argument. Right? And this kind of argument, just like all the other ones, right, must be debatable. Right? This argument, just like all the other ones, has to have a thesis statement. You have to have evidence. You can't just say because I said so. All right, it has to have your refutation, which means you have to look at the other side's point of view and then explain why your point of view is right. All right, you got to have a bigger concluding statement. All right, so those are all still part of this argument, but a Rogerian argument is really it's a different kind of argument because it's an intrapersonal kind of argument. This is not something that you throw out into the world like as an op-ed piece. This isn't a Rogerian argument. Generally, isn't something that you're going to write for a class. Right? The reason I included this in the curriculum is I wanted you to have a good intrapersonal ability to make an argument in your relationships. Right? Because a lot of the times people think that in a relationship, if there's any disagreement at all, that, that means the relationship is doomed. And a lot of the times in your relationships, it can be negotiated. Okay? But how you negotiate it really matters. Screaming and yelling at each other isn't going to help. All right? Trying to impose your will on the other person isn't going to go really well in the long term, right? Like dictatorship is great form of government for a really limited point of view. Democracy, however, has a pretty good, lifespan, right? And that's because both sides are participating. Okay, same thing in a relationship. Right, so you want to use the Rogerian argument when the other person is somebody of goodwill. It's somebody you care about. Right? And it's somebody who cares about you, right? If it's just some rando on the street, no, they don't care, right? They just don't, right? And if it's some woman who's going to have like the full Karen meltdown at the register because her coupon expired 3 days ago and, and you're getting paid minimum wage, a Rogerian argument just isn't going to get it. Just get the manager, right? All right, but a Rogerian argument is used when both people have a stake in the outcome and when you're trying to build a compromise, when a compromise is available. All right, so think about it sort of like this. Let's say, in your introduction, right, it explains the problem and how both sides are affected. All right, so let's say it's an interpersonal relationship issue, like you want to spend more time with your significant other, and your significant other is busy a lot and isn't able to give you or doesn't seem to want to give you as much time as you want. Right? So your introduction explains the problem. So the problem is that we aren't spending enough time together, right? You may write that, so if I'm writing this, I'm going to say, I'm affected because I don't get to see you as much as I want to, and I really love you, and I want to spend time with you. And your time is affected by this problem because you feel like I am super needy and constantly wanting to spend time with you that you don't have. Right? So that's how both people, right, are affected by this problem. Right, so then that seamlessly moves into the reader's view of the problem. Right, so that's the other person. So if I'm writing this about my significant other, right, I can say, I understand that your argument is that there's only 24 hours in a day and that you work and you have a job. And actually, you really are trying to improve yourself at your job and you're trying to get a raise and you're trying to get a promotion, and those kind of things actually require you not just to work the basic 40 hours a week. You got to do 60 hours a week in order to prove yourself, in order to be able to be ambitious in your job. Right? You're doing the extracurricular things, you're going to meetings, you're doing the extra things that you do in order to be more promotable. Right? And that means, by definition, those extra 20 hours a week are time that you just can't be with me because you're trying to accomplish something. And I understand that you're feeling really pressed because you also would like to sleep and maybe see your friends and your family and, not just work and have dinner with me. All right. And then you can move into the body paragraph too. So my view of the problem. All right. My view of the problem is, while I understand that you are trying to be more promotable, at the same time, I'm trying to live a life with you here. I'm trying to build a life, and I'm feeling super neglected. And I'm feeling like you don't really want to spend that much time with me, and you don't think I'm important. And it's not like I'm not seeing you get 12 hours of sleep every night. And do you really need to be playing golf all the time on the weekends when you could be doing something fun with me? And I'm feeling like I'm not that important to you. Right? So that's the author's view of the problem. Right? Now, the tricky part of a Rogerian argument is this part right here. Why the reader would benefit by seeing the argument the author's way. Right? So if I'm writing this, right, then if you don't want us to really sort of drift apart here, I need you to invest a little bit more time in me. Right? I need you to be willing to maybe cut back on, the Friday night dinner and drinks with your work pals and go out to dinner and drinks with me and my friends. Or I need you to be willing to at least commit to Sunday dinner with me every week so that I feel like you would like to see me. Right? And it would be good for you because you get to see me. Like, I'm fantastic. And you would increase your bond with me, and I would be less complainy. Right? And you would have to be getting less wife aggro out of me if, for example, you were spending more time with me. And that would make your life better. And I would complain less. Right? So some possible compromises. Dinner on Sundays. Commit to drinks on Fridays. A regular date night would also be a possible compromise, something I could totally count on, that you would be responsible for creating. Right? Don't make me have to do the social agenda, please. Right? So these are some possible compromises that we could make. Choose one of them. Right? And then the conclusion with the delayed thesis, arguing for best action. Right? Of these choices, really for me, the date night is the best choice, right? Because dinner on Sunday with the family, that's good. Drinks with a friend, sometimes I want to go out with my friends on Friday, but a regular Saturday night date night, that's gold, sir. I could, dress up and, the afterwards would be great fun for both of us. Right? So that's a Rogerian argument in a nutshell. Right? In your assignment, what you're going to do is you are going to revisit your ethical argument. Right? And then write your Rogerian argument from one of the participants' point of view. All right. Go ahead and watch the video for that and let me know if you have any other questions. Okay.